Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? It's Russell here from Porky's Corner, the voice of hardcore boxing. Today I'm joined by my good friend Richard. Richard, that don't look to me like Wickersley.
No, it's not, mate. As you know, we're having a bit of a break in the south of France, so we've been very lucky. We keep pinching ourselves. We don't often drop on, but we dropped up on a place last minute, and we can't complain, mate. It's like winning lottery for a couple of weeks. We're highly delighted. It's fantastic.
Got your own pool and that.
Yeah, home villa, home pool. Um, Less than a kilometre from the beach. That's you might be able to see Saint-Tropez background, Port Grimore background. It's just an amazing place. I do keep saying I can't get out of my Yorkshire ways though. Every time something in the bill comes up, I do. So they're saying how much? It's combien, which is obviously French for how much because it's a bit pricey, mate. But we expected that, but it's well worth it.
Combined, doesn't it?
Yeah, it combien means how much.
Total.
Yeah, how much? Yeah, so total cost.
Brilliant, brilliant. How'd you get down there?
We drove, bud. That's another
No,
120 euros just in tolls, just on the way down. So got that to pay on the way back up as well.
so it's 240. What you got in, mate, with roof off?
No, we've done it. We've taken daughter down, so we've done it Range Rover.
Oh, what about weather and all this? What you want roof off?
Yeah, but we can't fit 3 full-size cases in convertible, can we? So
women's clothes.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
So,
I've got 2 t-shirts and a pair of shorts.
Oh, I've got one.
That's it.
T-shirt here from you. Guess who I had a visit off?
Oh,
don't you?
Are you on about Dennis?
Dennis turned up because he heard I was dying. He's a teacher,
right.
And I'll put a little. Which is nice, isn't it? Because we've not spoken in 26 months, have we? Really?
So when it's nice when people you've had a history with and a friendship with and a working relationship with. If you're in a bad way, mate, and they want to come and say hello and they still think something of you, that can't be a bad thing, can it?
Yeah, how can it?
So and also, if two, I'm not saying you and Dennis do, but if 2 former mates want to be mates again, if they both want it, there's nothing. I don't think there's any everything wrong with that at all. I think if one person's reluctant and one person wants it, it's probably not the right thing to do. But if 2 people want to sort of be friendly again with all that history, I'm not saying you do. I don't know your situation like that, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Putting past behind you and cracking on with it.
Well,
so
obviously, yeah. Listen, watch this.
Hey, Terry, look who it is. Begging me to go back in it. Please. He's begging me to go back. Come to see me, desperate, mate. Nobody knows what they're doing up there now. I've lost my way.
Listen, we had a bit of banter. Obviously, I said what I said. He said what he said. But I just said, look, you're putting utter garbage on Dennis, and boxing's going through a tough time. But I wish him well. I don't think we'll be swapping spit in shower like we were. But I wish him all the best. And listen, he's come to see me. Look, a few people have rung, haven't they? And them who haven't, shame on them, haven't they? They know who they are. But them who have, you've got to give him respect, haven't you? And it's not a bad thing, is it? Come to see me. I've heard you. Scott had obviously told him I'm not well. Like he's come to see me, so I give him a plus for that. Will I hammer his shows if he puts crap on? I said, Dennis, it's my job, innit? If you put crap on, I'm the deterrent. So put good on. But he's got a few things bubbling in his head. But same old Dennis. It was nice to see him. But when I seen him, I thought, oh God, what's going on here? Dennis is here.
I don't know Dennis at all. I've never met him or anything, but I like a lot of Sheffield businessmen and people come up around South Yorkshire. Maybe he'll take it personally or not. I don't know, but I think he'll at least appreciate you just speaking from your heart.
Yeah, listen.
He's big enough and ugly enough to wipe his face and just take it for what it is.
Aberdaro is surrounded by clowns up there and he needs a bit of help, but I find it hard to do boxing with Dennis, although I respect what he's done. So, right, let's go through this lot here. Before we go through that, did I tell you about Kevin buying a new Range Rover? Listen to this, he goes to me. You know, he gave me a few weeks off to get right. Anyway, he said,
Right.
looked at factory tomorrow. I said, thought you would give me time off. No, go factory tomorrow. I've got a surprise for you. I says, I'll be there. I'm straight up. Just 10 minutes after being at factory, he rung me. He goes, come outside. I've got a surprise for you. Well, we're Ben next door. We've gone outside. There's me and Ben. Because I'm pulling up in it. I thought, what's he got me here? I thought, if he'd gone next door, got a car off Ash for me, he might have gone right block or something. I might not have seen him because I was at factory. I come outside. He pulled up in 22 plate Range Rover, like a dark grey or something. I thought,
Right.
oh, wow, what's going on here? I thought, it's got to at least that or something. Well, anyway, I was just about to say, Kev, you shouldn't have bothered. And he says, got right, what do you reckon then? Thought I'd treat me then. I thought,
Well, I know he's a good mate, like, but if he brought you a 130 grand car, that's saying something, isn't it?
I couldn't believe it, mate. Anyway, so I didn't. I couldn't even bring me sense to say, give me a go in it.
Well, do you reckon no interiors are nice, aren't they?
Yeah, all right. I mean, they're all right, aren't they? I mean, they're not what they were when they started in the 70s, are they? But they're all right, aren't they? They're not for me then.
I wish I could get a 2022 one. Well, I'll tell you.
They didn't have a diesel though. He got a it's petrol. So that's
Has he got a hybrid, has he?
I don't know what it is. It sounded really meaty when he was rubbing it up.
No.
V6. I'm sure he said it's a V6 or something, or 3 litre petrol.
Well, if you're gonna have one, you can afford it. Have what you want. So I say.
And this Jake, the latest is gastric's done, Richard. You've just seen I took Wolf that down, and no problem. Gastric's done. Yesterday we're at hospital. Done all bloods and everything. I'm back today. Another bag on for infection, and I should be home tonight or tomorrow. And then I'm done. It's just a case of recuperating. It's been a tough time. I'm 9 stone 6. I were 8 stone 13 on Monday. And when he came here Tuesday to do gastric, he said he took 3 mil out. He says, you look malnourished. I said, I'm all right. I went there yesterday because you're malnourished. So I obviously, but you are when you can't eat, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking from experience, obviously, but yeah, mate, you looked as though you were struggling last 8 months, really. So it's good news that you're getting back on track and eating solids.
Peter Fury's been. I won't say he bullied me into these drinks, but he were quite forceful with these drinks he's got me on, and peanut butter. He said there's all sorts in peanut butter, so I've got these peanut butter shakes with honey, and he was telling me about olive oil, a tablespoon of olive oil. I was speaking to Julian about it. He said he didn't know this. A tablespoon of olive oil is 100 calories of fats or something. I don't know. It's good fats, apparently, olive oil. So I put a bit of that in, and these shakes are 1,800 calories. So I wolfed 2 of them down yesterday because he says you need about 4,000 calories a day. So it will bang on. Anyway, I managed to get nearly, if I put 2 more pound on, that's half a stone since Monday, isn't it? That's good, isn't it? Yeah,
of course it is. And you're right, it is. It's you've got to have a good balance of proteins, fats, and carbs. You know, you have it's got to be right balance and different amounts for different goals that you're trying to achieve. But it all boils down to calories, and if you're burning more calories than you're taking in, you're going to keep losing, mate. And that's it. And you weren't taking any calories in. I know you're. I
was trying to go to work every day, wasn't I?
Yeah, you're going to work every day and darting about, and you know, you'd lost all that weight, so your energy levels are double what they were, triple what they were, and you know, the only way to put weight on is to take in a lot more calories than you were burning off. And if that's like 4,000 or whatever to start putting weight on, you can always ease back when you get to your right weight. Just maintain that discipline that you've shown for the last however many years, 6, 7 years, 8 years. So you'll crack it. But it's good to see you've eaten something.
Yeah.
I might be able to do that steak.
Omelette. Them omelette, not omelette. Yeah, them omelettes that you have. Are they French omelettes or something?
Yeah, the missus does those, and she does. I think you like that avocado and smashed avocado egg on toast, didn't you?
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, that's the one. You'll have one of them. You can have other three on your plate. I'll just pinch one.
Sounds good. Well, I like you. 3.5 sounds about right for me. You can have half. Let's
All
not take things too. Let's not be too hasty.
Don't want to be rushing, do we, in case I'm sick?
No.
Right then, boxing. Phew, I don't know what to make of it. I'm going to put this one out so everybody gets to know before it comes out. Dylan White, DeBar. Apparently, I heard it was signed last night, and then I heard it were very, very, very close. So, Dylan White, DeBar, does it happen? If it happens, let's just say, I think it's going to happen. Is that a good fight?
Yeah, it is a good fight. I think it's a really good fight. I get excited about that. What I'm excited about is I think that you've got to give Dubois a lot of credit for this fight because I'm still of the opinion he's a novice.
Oh, yeah.
So I know he's won the regular and all that sort of stuff, but in my mind, he's still a novice. So for him to take that fight on against White, it was a very dangerous puncher. He's definitely in top 5, in my opinion. It's top 5 or 6, 7 in every ranking, or he should be. So for Dubois to be fighting him, when my opinion is still a novice, I think that's credit to Dubois. To be honest, I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah. Do you think that Dylan could be at top of hill going down now and he's reached his peak?
I'll say that White beats him.
You say White beats DeBar?
Yeah.
Out toughs him.
Out toughs him. I think that Dubois still got a lot of questions from the Joe Joyce fight. I think that he's got a style that is, I don't mean from a personality perspective, but from a fight style. He's got a bullying style, his pressure, he's a big puncher. And I still think there's some questions on him when he gets it back. And we know what Dillian White's like. He don't mind a fight, does he?
No, he don't.
He'll have a go. So it could be out toughs him and out roughs him. And I think he'll be heavier than him, won't he? He'll be a little heavier than about a stone-ish.
Yeah.
From memory.
Yeah. Okay. Parker, Fury. Parker were obviously back up for Dylan White when he were in camp with Fury. If White pulled out, but Parker's got Joyce. How do you see that fight panning out, Richard?
I'm more interested in it since Andy Lee's become Parker's coach last couple of fights. He seems to have picked up his game a little bit, but I'm still going for Joyce. I think Joyce will have got too much of him. I'm sure that Tyson's been whispering in his ear and saying, you can box him on outside. If you're willing to box on outside, move, use your legs, keep out of Joyce's range. You'll get a point to win. I'm sure Fury's giving him a few inside tips from all that sparring that they've done. And Tyson's always had a lot of good things to say about Joe Joyce in the past. We know what Tyson's like. 1 week somebody's the bee's knees, and then the next week, like I'm sure we'll talk about, it's like Chidora. 1 week he's the bee's knees and everybody's mates, and the next week you're calling him out. But I'm sure that Tyson's been whispering in Joe's ear telling him how to beat him. But I think Joe Joyce beats Parker. I think it stops him late or even knocks him out.
Do you think that Andy Lee's are going to be emerging as a good trainer?
Yeah, he talks a lot of sense, Andy Lee. I think he's got to be careful. Everything I've heard him say in social media, it makes sense, and it's you might not agree with his opinion, but you can see where he's coming from. And I agree with his opinion most of the time. Anyway. I'm just saying, even if you don't agree with somebody, if there's some logic behind what they're saying, you can see why they think that. At least you can get on board with at least what they think. When they're talking nonsense, like a lot of people do, I just can't. It's not for me. So I think he speaks, talks a good game, and I think from what he's done so far, he looks like he's got a lot to give. And I liked him as a boxer, and I like him as a bloke. So good luck to him.
Yeah, he I don't think Andy Lee's one of them clicky pundit types that just want to be hanging around promoter and be. He's not a company man, is he? Kind of thing. He doesn't strike me as a company man.
No, I think to be honest though, I think this might be a traveller thing. I think it's difficult for a lot of travellers to be company men, and I think that's a good quality.
Yeah, I do. I think that's
Yeah,
they're their own men, aren't they? They're not really bothered what you're gonna.
yeah. I mean, there's pros and negatives with it, with everything, but I think that's a really good quality to have. And there are times when, don't get me wrong, in business, you've got to maintain relationships and you've got to be sensible, but there's no use just bending over, just for a few quid.
Yeah.
It's no good.
Chisora, Tyson Fury. Can you get behind that fight?
No, not interested in it. Tyson's my favourite heavyweight. I'll think about him.
Yeah.
But I can't get behind that fight. I won't watch it. It should be like a big kid in playground. It'd be like a fifth year beating up a first year on his first day at school, wouldn't it?
Yeah, 15. Yeah, it would. Yeah. What did you think to his dad, John Fury, trying to justify it to Simon Jordan on Talksport? Because he wasn't having it, Jordan, were he?
I didn't see it, mate. I've been around Paul for the last few days, so you'll have to fill me in on that one. I haven't seen as much as I usually do. So if I were watching YouTube videos, boxing and stuff like that, and Mrs. wanted me to run some sun cream on the back, I'd be in trouble. So I've been a bit behind it this week. What happened there then?
Basically, well, obviously, John's saying that Tyson promised him a payday and they've had 2 good fights before. He also said, which wound me up, they must think, why aren't these pundits questioning him when he said Tyson's going to be the only man to have 2 trilogies or something? But Ali had 2, didn't he, with Ken Norton and Fraser? So
Yeah,
Tyson the first one
they were tough, weren't they?
He ain't the first one to have 2 trilogies. I know Riddick Bowe had a trilogy with Holyfield, but Tyson had one with Wilder, didn't he?
Yeah.
The one with Derek Chisora weren't even for world titles. I know this one will be, but should Derek even?
Well, you know yourself. If those pundits had anything about, and they'd be saying to him, and I thought you'd retired, Tyson, and I'm glad he's not retired. I didn't think he would be for 1 minute, but we said this, I think, on the last video. He's contradicted himself all his career, and that's who he is. So I've sort of turned a deaf ear to it now. I just want to see him fight as much as I possibly can. I don't want to see him fight Chisora. Like I say, that's a fifth year cock at school, just picking on train spotter. First year, first day. You know what I mean? Brand new blazer, and just beat it out of him. It's not a fight, is it? Shouldn't even get sanctioned, that fight.
It's me going up to Edlow accompanying me with Greyhound on blazer. I remember Greyhound pub used to be that were emblem on it for school. Greyhound blazer, briefcase, glasses on. I walked in and with my flares and that. I was like 1983 September. I'm like, I'm gonna get wasted. And I did. That's like that.
We couldn't. A blazer. You had a blazer. That's one thing we couldn't afford it. I had to go on.
I don't want to wear that.
I had to go in uniform and a dodgy Red Harrington jacket.
Red Harrington jacket from junior school. I wanted them in juniors, mate.
That's what I'm saying. We couldn't afford a blazer, so just get that on. Off you go. You're all right.
Man, I was only one in year, and some kids sound tickle. I think I was only ones in our class with a blazer. I was like, oh God, there's only 2 other people with a fucking blazer, and I've got flares, and they've got Farahs on. Man, what are you doing to me? I hope you're watching this, Mum. I forgot.
I had to go in this Red Harrington jacket, so I stood out like a sore thumb. And first thing I had to ask for, where do I get my token from my free dinners?
What about when you games lesson?
Yeah, so it's it's just like Kes, isn't it? Games lessons, but
I remember sat next to this kid in dressing room, in changing rooms when we had rugby, but I didn't have rugby boots, footy boot job on it if you're from Edlow, and this kid had it. He said, I ain't got no rugby boots either. I've got footy boots. I thought, well, at least he's on the same level as me. He was from Tickle as well, few quid and that. Anyway, he got his boots out and his Puma bag, and now they were my Ladbroke holiday bag. Oh my God, I need a Puma bag, man. I got my boots out. I looked at him. I looked at his boots. I was like, his were the Nike Tempo Turf Ian Rush.
And how are they with mine? Stanley Soccer from Donny Market. Mum, get me some boots or I'm leaving on. Got me some high tech. I'm like, oh.
I take from Jonathan James.
You didn't realise, did you, that named brands meant something when you got to comp? You know, when you left junior school, I would ever say, I'm getting a paper around and get some trainers.
That sounds very similar to me, that mate. Paper round at 11. Let's not. Anyway, I don't think boxing fans are going to want to know all about that, are they? But to me and you, it's funny.
I know it is funny. Tony Bellew. We'll go on to link to after this question. Tony Bellew, right, says Conor Benn is top 3 welterweight in world. So Andy Lee put it on him, didn't he? And said, Tony, what about Boots Ennis and that Otis? Because they're KO men, aren't they? And they're undefeated. They're above him. And Tony's reply, well, yeah, Conor don't want to be fighting them. They're naughty boys. So Conor's not top 3 then if he don't want to fight them because they're naughty. He's below them. He's not top 3 then, is he? So I don't know where they're going with this Conor Benn hype, but what do you think about the actual fight?
I'll take your first question through it. I think Bellew's a company man with Matchroom, so what he's going to support them 100% no matter what. He's just as we were talking about earlier on.
Just on Richard.
Yeah. So they've got a contract. If it's going to be. It sounds like I'm defending them, but it's going to be difficult for somebody who's getting X amount a year to do that sort of stuff, to see that money disappear out of the bank if they're not going to do it. So it's up to them. That's how it is. But he's a company man. For the fight itself, I can get behind it. I want to say why I can get behind it. I don't think Ben is going to win the fight. In fact, I think that Eubank is a very, very strong favourite. But I can get behind it because I thought about it a lot, and I thought, you know what, if we we get pelters for this, I'm sure. But the fact of the matter is, unless we're going to stop everybody from moving up to catch weights, moving up divisions when they're not a natural whatever weight they move up to eventually. We know that boxers have moved up many, many weights throughout their careers, and some have had real massive success, and some have been shown that they can't do it, sort of thing. But if we're gonna stop people boxing at catch weight and stop moving up weights, we have to do it for everybody. So I think what they're doing here is they're obviously doing a cash grab. I don't think it'll affect Ben's career as a welterweight too much, unless he gets really seriously hurt, which is a risk. It won't affect his career too much at welter or super welter. It won't affect that too much. And so I think from that point of view, I can understand it. But I don't think he's going to win the fight. I like him. I like him. I'm not as hard as you and Kent on him. And I know that you're coming around a little bit on the last couple of fights. If you compare the records, there's no comparison. Eubank's had the much tougher fights, better quality fighters, and he's been doing it for a lot longer. So he's a big, big favourite for me. But I don't think that we should stop people moving up weights. And when it's risk versus reward, we don't know what rehydration clause is involved. Now, if they've been able to negotiate a deal and Ben's camp think that Eubank's going to be so tired when he comes in, and it's going to be like, challenging a guy to a 100-metre sprint after he's just finished a marathon, that might be what's behind the thinking. We don't know yet, do we? Because I'm not sure if again
if they're trying to do that, isn't that dangerous? I mean, aren't we supposed to be making the sport safe?
Yeah, boxing. You're right, mate. Yeah, it is dangerous, but boxing's dangerous. And if we're gonna make it really safe, we shouldn't have people boiling down to different weights when they're not walking around at that weight. People lose 2 stone, 3 stone.
Weight.
Yeah, what we should be doing is be more strict. But it is dangerous. We're still tuning. It could be a terrible situation. I think Joe Gallagher said this. If Ben gets really hurt, we're all going to be looking at ourselves saying, why did that happen? Which we will in hindsight, but then we get into conversation about, well, should we be having boxing altogether? So it's a very difficult one. for me, I can support it. I will watch it. I hope they do it as safe as possible. I hope they've made it as even as possible with the rehydration clause, and the weight's not too bad for Ben moving up, and enough weight for Eubank to lose, so it levels the playing field a little bit. That's the only way it can work. If Eubank has not got a very tight rehydration clause, it could be a really serious problem for Ben. I think he could run out of steam after about 5 or 6 rounds. It'd be like Rocky 3 with Mr. T, you know, and we were running out of lines, running out of rounds. I mean, I know he won in the end, but it could be that sort of fight where he's as though Rocky's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he could keep up a pace for 5 or 6 rounds, and I think then he'd just go nowhere.
You want to go on to other link, lad?
Yeah, do that.
No problemo.